look at something on possibly County Line Road between 73 and 13.
Can you explain what ARIP is for the?
So ARIP is an agricultural grant program, basically to help build your roads up heavy enough to allow agriculture to travel those roads without weight restrictions. It's a 90-10 competitive match grant, so they would pay 90%. It's what would allow that stretch to qualify is managed forest land is considered as cropland, so it's considered agriculture. Now, if we did look at that stretch, we would have to really consider whether we wanted to look at something on there. Right now, that is a gravel road, kind of a dirt road. But the fact that we could not weight limit it would mean we would have other traffic as well. And we would probably end up with milk trucks that come up from Adams County going across there to get up to like Mullins, stuff like that. So whether we would want to or not, I don't see any other roads that we would actually qualify on for the purposes of that. So the application for that is in April. So that's something where if we want to look at it, we're going to have to get moving on starting to talk to Rome and get some estimates out there what it's going to take to actually build that road up. So if you guys are interested, I can help. I can start that process. Talk to them and see if that's something they're interested in doing as well. But otherwise, we probably don't qualify for anything else on that.
So the road actually has to be built to really high specs because it has to withhold so many tons
Yes.
of road traffic. So my way of thinking when I heard this also was that I would rather see a community that really needs it more than us.
Right.
Get it? And if we apply for it, it does take money away from other communities. And one of the communities I'm thinking of is the town of Fort Edwards. They have a lot of rural roads out there, a lot of farming, and not much tax base. So they would be one that I would think apply for it.
I guess here's the thing with that though, if we can say we'd like our neighbors to get it, but
Yeah.
it is all a competitive grant.
It is.
And just because we don't apply doesn't mean our neighbors will get it.
Right, but also with this grant, didn't we have to have engineering done before?
No, engineering can be part of that grant as well. You do need to get an engineer, you need to get an estimate what the project's gonna cost.
Okay,
Put in there. I did talk to Roland a little bit about it. He said if it's something we wanna move forward on, he can help us get that estimate together.
okay,
And it's just an estimate at that point. There will need to be engineering involved, but that engineering can come in under that grant.
under the package, okay.
So, it's something, just a second here. It's something that, right now, we don't have the equipment to take care of gravel roads. Right now, we're grading roads with an underbelly. We don't really have the equipment to take care of those properly. And that would be a stretch of road that we could possibly take off of our gravel system and move to a paved system if that's a route we wanted to take, which would be the advantage there. And though it would probably fall low on the priority, depending on who's reading the grant, if you are talking decreasing the route for milk trucks and affecting the managed forest land and stuff like that, there is actually a possibility we could qualify pretty heavily for that.
So isn't the solar farm going on that side? On the other side?
Nothing's completely finalized yet, and we don't know what acreage is gonna take up there, but there is potential for that to be occurring in that area too, yes. So, if we wanna try to move forward, I can talk to Rome and try to get some things moved forward to try to get in for that grant. But whether we want, this will be a commitment where if we do move that way, we will have trucks going across there year round. We cannot weight limit it, even during spring weight limits.
And we still have to pay 10%, and we know what a road costs. So
Well, we know what a road costs, but that's gonna have to be built up much heavier than what we do now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say we're gonna be at least doubling our cost, but at only 10%. Even if that ended up 600,000 a mile, it's a 4-mile stretch. you know, we'd be responsible for 1.2 million, so we'd have 120,000 into paving 2-mile stretch on there. Which,
Yeah, for a road that we don't utilize that much.
yeah, but it's also a road we're maintaining and not maintaining it very well.
Dan has some history on that from years ago, I believe.
Sorry, Dan, you wanted to,
You had mentioned your engineering, when we did Town Line, this was under Simular, 90, 10, 80, 20, I don't remember exactly what it was. But it was, the grant was based off the estimate.
right,
Our estimate came in, I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was considerably less than what the total cost was.
yeah. Well, that's something we are gonna have to be very cognizant about.
So
Whatever we apply for, we're a couple of years out on buildings, so whatever estimate we get, we're gonna have to add and make sure we're covered.
Engineer came through and I think they said they threw extra 10% on top of what they originally thought, and they were about 20% short.
Yeah, I would say at 20.
And another thing, okay, you're looking at the County Line Road. We've been arguing with Town of Rome since the beginning of time on their east side.
Yeah.
If you're gonna consider anything, I would look at Mill Avenue. You've got it in your plans right now to look at Mill Avenue anyway for a rebuild.
But
The problem comes in, we needed to qualify for that ARIP.
Agriculture, that road, if it was open to ag traffic, it would be used for ag traffic. Because they're coming up, they would use County
Coming off
Trunk
from
U
you.
and come across
Yeah,
all the
coming
way.
from you.
The only reason they're not doing it is because it's got the weight limits on it.
Yep,
And that was put
And they
up there
still are
for
using
that
it even
purpose.
though.
yeah.
But if that road was open to built to standards, it would be used a lot. I know this because there's been.
Well, and that was my
problems
thought with that County Line Road, because that cuts straight across to where that Highway 73,
Right on the corner.
right at that corner there where it dips out.
I don't know where these trucks are coming from, but
80.
I know, I followed them and they'll go down 73 all the way down to County Trunk F and turn north.
Yeah, well, and that's what that County Line Road, if you look at a map, they could take that straight across, and that's a
True,
straight
yeah,
route
it
over
would,
to F at that
yeah, it
point.
would cut off everything.
And, you know, that's the only thing that I can think would get us to a higher priority level on that grant, because you would have a lot of ag traffic moving across that route to go from Highway 13 up to either 51 or that Highway F.
And it's intergovernmental cooperation.
Right, and that actually adds to that too, because we would be not only crossing town lines, we'd be crossing county lines with that, which adds to the priority list on those.
Right, yeah, you get, yeah, you start checking off all your boxes.
Right.
For
Right,
the
so
permit
it's,
itself.
But what happens if,
What would be the best?
if we get the grant and then it does become solar and it takes away half of their side of all of their,
well, you would still have the through traffic in there that would be beneficial for agriculture.
Yeah, if it qualifies to start with and everything went through, you can't predict the future, so it
Right.
okay.
wouldn't really pertain.
Not to mention, most of those are a 30-year lease. They're meant to be moved back into either agriculture or tree production
Yeah.
at the end of those leases anyways. So just because it would be going to solar long-term doesn't mean, but, you know, it's kind of sketchy whether we would want to or not. I'm a bit in favor just to get it off our gravel system and getting a heavy built road that would go across there.
Solar is farming. Did you know that?
That's not considered agriculture though, unfortunately.
No, it's not.
How much is ours on County Line Road is ours compared to Town of Rome?
I haven't gotten
We
quite into looking
brought
at
our
that.
section so-called up to grade.
Right.
That was done years ago, and, but you said it's 4 miles across?
It's 4 miles, that total stretch is 4 miles across there. I'm Usually when it's a boundary road like that, it's 2 and 2.
Well, no, cause ours comes down on, where's the bridge, on Bell?
Yep.
The
Yep,
new
Bell.
bridge? So how far is it down 10 Mile Avenue to Bell? A mile?
A mile.
Yeah.
Okay, so you only got a mile out of 4. So you're only a quarter.
Well, yeah,
of
and
the whole
it-
thing.
depending on how much of that we would have, would depend on the percentage that we would be responsible for taking over at that point.
Well, just like what we had with Town Line.
Right, right. It would end up being a shared project, very similar to that.
Of course, on Town Line, we had the whole south side,
Yeah, we
Yeah.
don't in this.
and the north side was split 2 ways.
Yeah.
That's the way they determined the cost. You don't get paid for it, but on that grant, we had the south side.
Right, right, and, so that ended up being a 3-way split between Port Edwards, Grand
Grand
Rapids,
Rapids.
and.
The majority of it was, half of the whole thing was
Circular.
ours.
Right. Yep. So I guess, we don't need a board action or anything, but do you guys want me to pursue this and talk to them, or is this something you guys don't want traffic on there anyways and leave it the way it is?
I would think that your, first thing to do is to go to Town of Rome, and
Well, that will be
See
the
where they
first
sit.
thing, but
That
I
would
don't
be
even wanna
the-
go that far.
that would be the first hurdle to
Nobody
go
wants to go.
across. Cause we, you know what, we had a deal to start with,
Yeah.
and they reneged on the whole thing.
Really?
Oh, yes. Yeah, we'll build our portion, and you build yours. Oh, yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah,
See where
Well,
it's at.
this, if you're doing a grant like this, you can't actually do that process. It has to be the
oh,
whole project all
Well,
done
yes,
at once.
I'm just saying.
So that would take that risk of you build your portion, we build ours, that'd take that out of it, cause the whole thing
Right.
would have to be built up at once.
Yeah,
I'd
exactly.
say continue to check on it. Talk to
Okay.
Rome.
Alright,
Anybody else? Brian,
I say no.
you say no? Josh?
Talk to Rome, but I would say, I don't know that we should.
My thing with this is talk to Rome, let's just see what their thought process is. It's not committing us, but maybe in the future we know where they stand. Roger?
Do that if it doesn't look like it's gonna work out or be advantageous to the town, and scrap it.
alright, I'll pursue it, at least to the point of at least talking to Rome.
Okay.
If it gets to a point where I kinda hit a wall there, then I'll probably stop, but.
Josh, you got anything?
I
Brian?
yield my time to Brian.
No,
Mr. Talkative over there?
Pardon?
I agree with Bill.
I mean, everybody
The Wysocki trucks come through there.
took the same phone calls everybody else did. Took a couple more about the residences that I talked to Brandon already about, so.
Okay. Good enough. All right. Next on the list would be update for the electronics recycling, we talked about. 6 12-foot culvert inventory, Chase and I attended the Wisconsin Towns Association meeting last Friday night, and we learned a lot about this, and, I'll let Chase kind of fill you in.
That was actually covered at that board review meeting too. Basically, the state is requiring us to inventory all of our culverts that are anywhere from 6 to 20 foot. Anything over 20 is considered a bridge, no matter what the structure is built out of. Anything under 20 by the state standards is considered a culvert. So we essentially had 3 options. One is we can have our guys do it. Another one is we can have the county do it, or we can hire out a private, out of the private sector. We are being reimbursed by the state $100 per qualifying culvert to do that inventory. However, we do have to pay that money out in order to get that back. So if we had our guys do it, we would have to pay them an extra check on top of, their wages to actually get reimbursed for that $100. My suggestion would be our guys really aren't qualified to be reading the maps, and there's 20 different aspects of it that you actually have to assign for it, and you put down on the sheet. So my suggestion would be we hire it out. The county,
What's Douglas for?
He's on vacation, it has to be
Well,
done,
April 15th.
April 15th, I believe.
Oh, so you're supposed to do it under winter
Well,
conditions?
Well, the other part that Chase didn't tell you is that not only do we get paid $100 a piece for doing them, we can hire the county to do them for $100 a piece. So we turned around and hired the county.
But both the private sector and the county are willing to do it for $100 per culvert. So there's gonna be we will have to pay that money out, and then I believe in next February is when we'll end up getting that money back. But there will be no cost to the town for doing that inventory to have that done out of, have that done that way. So,
What if you had 2 foot of snow out there?
That's why we're not doing it.
well, and whoever does it basically has to drive every mile of road, watching the ditch, and then every culvert, they're gonna have to get out and measure them, and, it's not so simple as 1 6-foot culvert. If you have 2 36-inch culverts next to each other, that's considered over 6 foot. So it gets complicated. Could we do it? Yes, but at the moment, there's no cost for us to use the county, and the county's probably gonna end up being the entity that does the bridge inspection that will come in the following year.
And every culvert that qualifies as a bad culvert, then it has to have an inspection. If it doesn't pass this inventory.
Nope, every culvert that goes through that inventory will need to be inspected, whether it's good, bad, or whatever. Part of that inventory is it does need to be reported if there are any immediate concerns. But every culvert will get inspected.
Is there
That's
anything in
between
the
that
town
6
books as far as where any culverts are located?
They actually have a map where they suspect they are. We knew where some of them were. The ones that I knew where they were, I gave that to Roland, but I'm sure there's a lot of places that I don't know. I mean, I know I grew up here, but, I'm old. So, he said that they do have a map where they suspect that all culverts are, and they will drive around and look for them. So, it didn't cost us any money, we fulfilled the obligation,
And to be honest, we just don't have to worry about it once we give
Yeah.
them that sheet and send
yeah.
it off.
And our public works guys, we only got 2, so we're gonna let them do it.
No, not for driveways, it's only what's on the town road,
Okay.
so.
So these people are gonna be the same price as the county?
Yeah.
Who can get it done first?
County hired extra
The county's
people.
gonna be, Delmore Consulting sent that out to every town in the state. Their thought is that they can, and I know the guys at Delmore, their thought is they can do upwards of 400 towns in the state. The county only has their county system, and how many towns do we have in Wood County? 22? So it will get much done quicker with the county. We're a little higher on the priority than one of 400, so.
Okay,
So you go with county.
moving on. We're on to number 11, and we only got 40 more to go.
No, 10. 10.
10. Oh gosh, it's even worse. Business permit for Andy Palm with Palm Septic Service at 7940 Church Avenue. He will have no outside storage. He is just conducting a home-based business.
I'll make a motion to approve the business permit for Andy Palm
I'll second.
with Palm Septic.
I have a motion by Chase and a second by Josh for the approval of the business permit for Andy Palm for Palm Septic Service at 7940 Church Avenue. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those against? Motion passes. All right, number 11, a business permit for Cody Kicklin, is that correct? Kicklin? Tri-City Motors, 1410 State Highway 73 South. This was the purchase of Cody, and he wants to operate the business again with a repair garage.
Is this in, what's it zoned, I guess? Is that in
Just commercial right now.
It's commercial,
right now?
yeah,
It's commercial and we'll stay commercial.
yeah.
All right, well, if that's commercial, I make a motion to approve the business permit for Cody Kickland as well.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Chase and a second by Josh to approve the business permit for Cody Kicklin at Tri-City Motors, 1410 State Highway 73 South. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those against? Motion passes. All right. Update the ordinance for ward division and designating a polling place. Okay, all we're doing is getting rid of the boundary agreement, which was Ward 14, and we're going. Is that
Ward
right?
9.
Ward 9, and so we're going back to 8 wards, which was original before,
All right.
Port
So
Edward.
just to be clear, this is basically the exact same wording before
Yes,
Correct.
that was on.
and we did ask the attorney, and that was his advice to just go back.
I'll make a motion to adopt the ordinance for ward division and designating a polling place.
I'll second.
Ordinance number 2/21/24.
Motion by Chase and a second by Brian to update the ordinance for ward division and designating a polling place. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those against? Motion passes. Thank you. I need a pen. Next. All right, approval of the previous minutes. Has everybody had a chance to read them? I'm gonna abstain because I wasn't here. For anybody who cares, I was in Hawaii.
Yeah, we don't.
And it was fun.
I'm glad you had fun.
I did. I went with my granddaughter. It was a great time.
We had a blast too.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for Wednesday, January 17th.
I'll second the motion.
I have a motion by Chase and a,
Oh, okay.
and a second by Roger to approve the previous minutes of January, what, 17th. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those against? Motion passes.
Question on the floor. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I wanna know what you're doing with that idiot that's next to me.
Okay.
I had to call the cops.
Okay. Can you tell me where this, I wish you would have brought that up when Josh, when Brandon was here, but where?
Well, I don't know when to bring it up. You never asked. You must know why I'm here.
No, I thought it was garbage can or brush trimming.
He was driving across my driveway,
Okay,
cutting across, and I put, 4x6s across there.
okay,
And then he moved them. Moved them out. He claims that's his driveway, it ain't. I called the DOT. They don't put nothing, you know. They surveyed all that when the state put that highway in. And
the DOT surveyed that the driveway there by your property?
whoever they had, the state surveyed
Okay,
it,
all right,
whoever they had.
all right,
But I'm saying, they want to let it go in. It ain't his driveway.
okay.
I don't care what he does. And the idiot, there's no way, if he's that stupid, he claims he had that surveyed. Well, what do them guys do? They measure and put their mark in. He's got it dug up out back like I told the cop. You know, I don't think it's a true surveying.
Is there a rod in there with a cap on it with
No.
numbers?
No. All they did is put them lath in that time.
Okay, a surveyor wouldn't put lath in.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why, I'm pretty sure it was his young buddies.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know if they measured right or not. But he's got line going down through my land. He's trying to tell the cop he was, and I told her, I says, he's full of shit. That's his driveway, that he can drive on it.
Okay, is there a CSM on either one of your properties?
What's the,
A survey map?
I don't know.
Okay.
The cop told me you know everything.
I will look and see if there's a survey map. If there is a survey map, then,
Cause I'm paying taxes. My mother did for 40 years, and I paid over 20 years for an acre of land. It don't just disappear, there's no clip there.
No, it doesn't disappear.
Where'd my acre ever go?
Okay, let me do a little research. Can I give you a call?
Yeah,
Okay.
you call me.
I'm looking it up too. Lorelei.
Can I get your phone number? Can you just give it to one of the girls? Don't say it because it goes
Yeah,
over.
this will be on YouTube, so.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not gonna let me.
Hey, Lorelei,
Yes, sir.
right behind him was just surveyed, you guys just approved that map
06,
for
06.
the ranch. So there should be some markers that should be,
But he's talking about on the highway.
yeah, but
where-
I
I just wanna make sure I
that'll
didn't
give you some
transpose it.
starting to.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna,
Off.
I'm not gonna go
Sounds
out
good.
there
I will give
because
that to Laura
I'm not a
tonight.
licensed surveyor. I mean, I know what we're doing here, but, if he has a CSM though on his property, it will have a corner marker, and then it will be easier for me to tell him exactly where to find it and how to do it, so. I will call you tomorrow,
Whatever,
tomorrow.
tomorrow, 'cause Friday I'm gonna be to the doctor.
I will call you tomorrow, and I will tell you exactly what I found out and what we can do. Okay?
I know what I can do. I told the cop he keeps cutting over my driveway, I'm gonna shoot his tires out. She said, well, you go to jail. I said, good, then you can support me in there, I won't have to pay out all this goddamn bullshit to stay alive.
I'll call you tomorrow.
But he's trying to break my blacktop.
Okay.
He's hauling logs in with that long trailer, and that's another thing. Them trailers, half the time, they don't have no plates on, no license. I don't know what the hell he's up to.
We'll figure it out. We'll find out.
We ain't gonna get my driveway, I'll tell you, I paid for it.
Okay?
I had it for years, so
We'll figure it out. We'll get it figured
we'll
out.
see you guys.
All right. You have a good night.
Two.
I'm gonna go home and calm down and rest my heart.
Thanks for coming here tonight.
Drive careful, okay?
Yeah.
All right. Next on the agenda, amend the fee schedule to increase the cost of an operator's license for a license period starting July 1st. I'm gonna let Paulette speak to this because she's the one who approached me.
So the fee schedule, as you have it in your packet, is our current fee schedule. We charge $10 for an operator's license, $10 for an operator's license renewal. But it has been recommended at training sessions that, you shouldn't just do CCAP, you should actually run a background check as well. It costs $7 to do the background check. So to do that background check, we're looking at, so I would like to see that go to $20 to cover what we're spending to do that background check.
How many operators license do we?
Typically, in a year, we could have 70, it depends. A lot of, like, the establishments have the same people year after year. A lot of the gas stations have a lot of the turnover, and you kind of go through people fast. But this wouldn't take effect until the July 1 term, but I send out renewal notices ahead of time, so I have to make sure they're aware of that increase, that's why I brought it up now.
So, I'm sorry, what are you looking at,
I would like to see $20 for the renewal,
For renewal?
or $20 for an operator's license. I don't know whether you wanna do, like, if they have an existing license in Saratoga, that renewal stays at 10.
well, you still do a
You know.
background check on renewals, right? Or no?
We've, in the past, done the CCAP, but now with the whole background check, I guess it's hard once you have the license to say you don't have the license anymore, but, that's entirely up to you guys, how you want me to.
So you do a background check for a renewal or not?
We've done CCAP before, but this, with doing the background check, that's what we've learned recently at training sessions, so
Yes.
now I have
Okay.
been doing that.
I would
but
recommend that we do one even
you
if
know.
a renewal, so
Okay.
I would make a
Say
motion
20
to
to
go up to
20.
$20,
Okay.
starting July 1st.
Yep, okay.
I'll second the motion.
That's for new and renewals.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes, just operator license in general, yep.
Okay. So I have a motion by Brian and a second by Roger to increase the price of a operator's license and a renewal to $20 effective July 1st, going from $10 due to the increase in research.
Yep.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Those against? Motion passes. Discuss implementing a refund policy for nominal overpayments. Where is Billing Joe?
She's arguing with it.
Yeah, but I can.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what this is people who pay their real estate taxes every year, some people come in and they have a check and they read it wrong. And it's like they're paying 5 cents over or 10 cents over and they leave it in the drop box. Now we have to mail it back. And so a stamp costs like 60-some cents nowadays, and we're writing a letter and mailing back 10 cents. So what we can legally do is if it's under $5, we can keep that money unless they come and request it. And I'm okay with that. At first I was not, because I thought everybody should get their money back that overpaid. But after I thought about it, I thought, okay, so now we got time with our treasurer that's gotta balance the books, send out a check, postage mail. I mean, that takes time and
And a lot
energy.
of people don't take that check for 39 cents to the bank to cash it.
Right.
So that's a nightmare.
They just throw it in
on
the
her
garbage.
end when that doesn't.
What's the reason for the overpayment?
Well, the one that was, we feel they don't like to balance their checkbook
So they just made it
in
even?
dollars
Round
and
it off.
cents, so they made it an even dollar amount.
So
That shouldn't be our fault.
So I was here when she got one of them. She somebody made a payment at the bank and rounded it up to the next full dollar, which was 39
Yep,
cents or
39
something like that.
cents.
And I mean, we can't
We
even
have to
send
cut
out
a check
for that
then.
much.
Yeah.
So,
And I would like to see it, in a notice in January when we send out our tax bills, we always send this little ditty.
another
letter.
reason too is some of those payments come in by escrow accounts, by the banks.
Yeah.
And so they might be $3 over, $4 over, something like that.
If it's 20, we're gonna send it back.
Right.
I mean, I cut it off at 5.
Now, just, I guess to be clear on this, this money has to stay in an account though.
No,
It, like, after 15 days, it goes into general fund.
Okay, but we have to track that.
Buy an acre.
So if they come 2 years later and
I ain't included.
want their refund for their $3
Road ain't got
overage,
nothing to do with me.
no,
they
we'll
realize-
draft
I will
something.
double
Yeah.
check
We paid for
with
it.
the correspondence that I had with
I
Nick.
agree that.
But it sounded like after 15 days, it went to the general fund, but I don't remember what that was, but I'll look.
He did have a little ditty on there. It says that, if they do come back in asking for it,
It's
then,
like a claim against
yeah,
it.
yeah, that we would give it back. But we don't have a problem giving it back.
well, I just wanna make sure we've got the track, we've got figured
Yeah.
out what we need to track.
This says in the absence of a demand for refund.
Yeah,
So they can come in and ask for the $3 back.
right,
If
But
it,
we don't have to send it to them.
no,
right,
right.
but even like 2 years later, which means this stuff's gonna have to be tracked.
Well, no,
And-
we'll ask Nick how long we have to keep it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would, just guessing, I'm gonna say 30 days, but
Okay,
I don't know that for a fact. But
Something tells
we'll,
me that if in 15 days and go to the general fund, they have 15 days or one.
yeah, it could be. But we'll verify it with the attorney.
But I mean, it's the under $5 stuff.
Yeah,
too,
right.
So it's not like it's a $200.
well, and even so, tracking's not impossible, so
Right.
I just wanna make sure we have it planned.
Do we need a date in this resolution
Um,
of how many days? Do we need that date in there?
this resolution was actually drafted up by Nick,
Yep.
so,
So
It would be effective today.
I know effective today, but do we
Oh,
need
to
to,
say
do we need to
that-
put,
Days.
Oh,
we will hold it for 30
Oh.
days? I mean,
um,
if Nick drew this up, we probably don't need it. in there.
yeah. 'cause
I
he
would
drafted
say, yeah,
this,
if you
so-
drew it up, I would say no, and we can actually. How can we word that?
Contingent upon? Or
Yeah, yeah, we can do that. We can approve it contingent upon the, contingent upon the advice of the attorney. We can, let's just say 30 days, and then if the attorney says 15, we're covered. And if it's worse than that, then we'll just bring it back.
make that motion,
Okay.
I'll second that.
however you want to word it.
I have a motion by Josh and a second by Chase to implement a refund policy for nominal overpayments of up to $5 to be refunded within 30 days of the overpayment applicant coming to the town. All those in favor?
Do we want the resolution number on there?
2-21-2024.
Thank you, Brian.
Yes, okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those against? Okay. Passes, and please remind me to call Nick tomorrow. Moving on. Option to do an individual permit or blanket permit for Adams Columbia Electric. Okay, so Adams Columbia Electric requested that we give them a blanket permit for the town of Saratoga for doing work in the town of Saratoga throughout a year. I think that's a really bad idea.
I'm not for a blanket permit.
We were approached by another company to do the same thing, and we said no.
Yeah, I just don't think it's a good idea because it can get abused, and I'm not sure why they're asking for it. Sometimes it's because they have something big going on, and, yeah.
Well, then you have no oversight of what's going on, period. And
Right.
you got a number of contractors coming in. You could end up with situations that we have no control over. Or then we're trying to straighten out after work is being performed.
I don't remember which company it was. It was either internet or cable or gas company that was doing all these permits as they went down the road, and they wanted a blanket permit for the town, and there was no way we could track it.
Yeah,
The
no
answer
matter
was no.
what utility it is, that just seems like a really bad idea.
Right.
Dan, did you do anything back with this?
Yeah, Josh is right. I
Yeah.
remember, I don't remember who it was either, Josh, but they had come in and
Right.
wanted
Yeah.
the same thing, and that was when Wayne was on, he said, and that was another thing too, that a lot of times they'd come in and have 3 or 4 jobs under the same permit number.
Right.
Yep.
If they'd have 3 or 4 different locations under the same permit number, and we kind of backed off on that, years ago too.
I guess I just wanna
Yeah, that doesn't sound,
clear this up. They're not asking for a blanket permit, they're asking which one we wanna do, so I say we do the utility permit application.
that's exactly right.
Do we need a motion on this, or is this just kind of
I would say we'd make a motion because it has to be acceptable to all the board.
I make a motion that we go with the utility permit application.
I second that for Adams Columbia Electric Cooperative.
I have a motion by Roger and a second by Brian to send this form back to Adams Columbia Electric Cooperative asking for a utility permit application instead of an annual blanket permit.
all those in favor?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Those against? Motion passes. Okay. What are we doing for time? Pretty good. All right. Possible sale of unused equipment, supplies. Did you give all the board members a copy of that?
I did, except it was not in the packet, it was loose on top.
All right, so I know what it is, so
You need
I'm,
all of us on here?
I think so. Is your name not on there?
There was
Well,
only so many lines. That
There's
was
only
the
so many
form.
signatures and so many printed names.
Oh, sign underneath it, would you please, Josh?
No, you can take that last line there.
Nope, this is printed. I'm not printing that. Whoever that is, I'm not printing that.
You guys, all right. Okay, so what this is about is back when, previous administration wanted to put in a park, they had purchased, 3 stone, garbage cans, liners, a bike rack, I'm going from memory, and I think, is that all that's on there? And they've been sitting over in the town hall for 3 years now. I tried returning them, even with a restocking charge, they would not take them back. But they are taking up room and they were very expensive. So what I would like to do is put them on the,
Wisconsin online surplus.
the online surplus, and I think we might even know somebody who would want them. There's another municipality that, oh, it's not a municipality, what is it, a park? Chase? What is it?
County.
County?
the county parks,
that, that may even offer us close to what was paid. So these garbage cans cost $900 a piece. And, and the, bike rack, the five-loop bike rack was $515. I would like to see if we can sell them and recoup some of the money, because I can't think of a place that we could put them for the town.
are we going to put a minimum bid amount on that? Cause those are rather expensive garbage cans.
I know,
To be honest, if we put them on there, I don't know that we're gonna get $30 for them.
you might have seen them like at Wisconsin Rapids in front of the town hall. They're about this square and they're stone, oh yeah, you can look it up.
I was gonna say, if
On
there's a model
Uline.
number on there, I can.
Yeah, on Uline, they're, and they are exactly the same price today as what they were when these were purchased. So I just want some feedback. I wanna know what to do with them. I don't wanna give them away because, you know, the townspeople
So that's kind
paid
of what they
$3,368. No, you cannot have one.
Oh, were they purchased with any grant money? Is there any issue there?
No, the grant was given back.
They were originally, but we did give that grant money back.
These were purchased for
Yes,
Yeah,
north of here.
yes. So, I want some feedback, and if we're gonna do something else with them, I'd like to get it done so we can get that building cleared out.
go ahead.
So,
Rob.
Yes,
What
Rob.
about, like Wakely House, could we work with them?
We
on
just
this?
gave them $35,000. Do we really wanna give them garbage cans too?
Okay.
You probably don't want them down there like anywhere
Yeah.
else, because people just
Yeah,
pile all kinds of crap in them. That's what the
Agreeably.
discussion is.
I would agree with that.
So before we would go in with this, do we wanna just try to approach the county?
did we already?
No, sir, we just found out Friday night that they're
Cause
gonna build a building and maybe want them. But I'm almost, Uline is one of the most expensive places that you can buy stuff from. I mean, truly it is. So, I'm not sure they'd even pay what we paid for them.
oh, I guarantee you, we're not getting what we paid for.
So I was thinking $700 a piece on the garbage cans, and I was thinking $400 on the bicycle rack. That was my thought. Anybody got anything to say about that?
We can just say, this is what we got into, and what do you give us for?
Or we can do that.
Well,
What did they say?
I personally think if we put this on the auction, we're gonna be lucky to get $100 a garbage can.
Right.
I would
And
agree.
$50 for the bike rack.
Mhm.
My thought would be we approach the county and see what they do.
And can you do that without putting it on surplus? The
It's
surplus?
intergovernmental,
It is, okay.
you could do that, yes.
Okay,
So I think we should approach them first before putting it on. You know, in the end, we're not doing anything with them, they're sitting, not being used, so even if we get $100 per, I guess we get $100, but
That would be sad.
oh, I don't wanna, yeah. I mean, if we get a private citizen who wants to give us $100, I'd rather see a private citizen get it than,
well, but that's my point, if the county
Yeah.
doesn't come back with
Yeah.
something we are willing to,
Need one here?
can
we
you,
throw it on and we advertise
For
that people
100
can
bucks, maybe.
bid on this
I'll
stuff.
sell it.
you guys okay with me calling the county tomorrow?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, Rob?
Yep.
Can you make a note, please? Thank you, Paulette. She's not only the clerk, she's also a very underpaid secretary. All right, moving on. Adoption of the camping ordinance. Okay, so has everybody seen the camping ordinance?
Where we're at.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Oh, okay, all right, yep.
okay, this has gone through the plan commission. The plan commission has approved this with changes. The changes were made, however, it was probably my fault because at the last meeting, you guys looked at it and you seen the word draft on it and it kind of freaked you out. So, I took the word draft off and brought it back.
Well, their copies still say draft.
Yeah.
Your
However,
copies say draft, but mine doesn't.
But what I have printed here, if it's approved, does not say draft.
So, during that last town board meeting, I stated that it said draft. We had went in and made all the changes we wanted to make,
Yep.
but we hadn't seen the final draft yet, or the final copy yet. at that time, you had agreed with it, right? You'd agreed that we hadn't went through some stuff. The last plan commission meeting, we discussed this and, looked back in the minutes, and we did in fact approve it as a plan commission, recommend approval for the board, with the changes being made. I've since seen those changes and I'm all right with it.
Is you okay? All right,
I do have a couple concerns when I look at this. One, it does say there's no year-round camping, but it does not necessarily say dates on when it should be permitted. So especially under the park models, just says year-round occupancy of prohibited.
yep,
But, I mean, we're leaving that open to, okay, they're gonna go on a 2-week vacation in January, and that's not completely year-round. What are we considering year-round?
and we were silent on that for a reason, oh, I'm sorry, do you wanna
Go ahead.
address that?
Go ahead.
The plan commission was silent on that for a reason, because we wanted to start somewhere, and if it got abused, then it would be changed.
Okay.
But this is the initial camping ordinance, where we are not allowing, mailboxes. They do have to have a driveway, they do have to have a number, and,
So if this is where there's another residency, is it a number separate from the residence?
we didn't address campers on a residential property. The very first section, you'll see that it says, this ordinance applies only to undeveloped private lands in the town of Saratoga.
Okay, so it's
Undeveloped.
only just
Yes,
a camper, okay.
yeah. The plan commission did go through this, like line by line, and this is very specific, very basic, very hands-off at this point in time. We have to start somewhere, and then as it grows, as a document grows, then I'm assuming changes will be made and enforced.
We felt we needed something, but we didn't wanna get too strict as
Okay.
to turn people off as well.
Well, and I guess I do have an issue too with not taking a fee for a permit.
There's no permit
Just
There's no
required,
permit, it's just a
No.
maintenance.
right,
Okay, so nothing has to be reported, nothing,
right. It's a
Well, that's,
person-driven ordinance, so a complaint-driven ordinance is what I wanna say, Chase. So if we get a complaint in the town, then we're gonna go out and we're gonna address it and say, you didn't do this, you didn't do that, and that's why the structure is on there for, for findings, for penalties, yeah.
and we are asking them to register with the town.
Yes, once a year.
It's requested.
It's requested, it's not, we had decided that too, it's not mandated, it's
We
requested.
changed the word from required to requested.
Yes,
Maximum of 4 camping units beyond any 15 continuous camping days.
the state statute. That's state statute. You can only have 4 camping units on a piece of property before it becomes a campground. Anything excessive of 4, then it becomes a campground.
now it says 15,
Unless if it's under 15 days.
Well, the 15 days is, we added that. I can read the state statute right now.
so if somebody wanted to take 6 camping units in there for 12 days, that'd be allowed?
Like for a holiday,
Okay.
like if somebody had
Oh, yeah, you guys are here, you answered.
a long weekend before Labor Day and kept more campers. and you
Okay.
Get a family reunion on a weekend and they bring 6 or 7 campers in.
Only 15 days.
How about 600 or 700 and then have a concert too?
See, and that's where we would change this.
Leave it to Carl to ruin it for the rest of us.
Yeah.
Well,
Gotta watch
I
it.
It
wouldn't-
only takes one, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't have the noise ordinance, I'd have it done by 10:30, whatever.
Band starts at 7 AM.
Yeah.
I believe it's 10 PM in here, so 10 PM to 7 AM, so you gotta be done by 9:30, so everything's quiet.
And you
Start at 7, we'll be done at
640 acres to handle it, right?
I really applaud the plan commission for even taking this on, because this was something that was very much contested in the town of Saratoga. I can't camp on my own land, it's my land, I own the land. You know, how are we gonna regulate this? And the way that they went about this was amazing. They took it step by step, and they said, yes, no, and I can see this happening, I can see this, you know, being a problem. So I think the way they started and the way this is worded, I think it's really good. But,
It went a lot smoother than the town of Rome, I'll tell you that.
Well, we had a pretty good input from our friendly dealers in town, so it worked out well.
yes, we did. And Carl, you were very instrumental in helping us too. Yeah, it helps when, you know, the people who actually sell these things come in and help us and see what they run into.
Can I make a motion?
Oh, absolutely.
Can I make a motion to adopt the camping ordinance as written?
I'll second the motion.
Okay, I have a motion by Josh and a second by Roger to adopt the Town of Saratoga camping ordinance effective today. All those in favor?
Alright.
Aye.
Those against?
Aye.
No, Chase, against, please? Do you want to state a reason, Chase, or no? It's up to you.
To be honest, I'm just afraid this is too loose and there's a lot of potential here for abuse. I know it's a place we gotta start, but
And that was discussed in the plan commission, and we figured we could make amendments to it as we went.
well, and that's fine. I mean, it's passing. It's just, I think there's a lot of potential here for abuse. It makes me nervous, to be honest. So,
Okay, noted. Makes Chase nervous. All right, 19, Wisconsin Rapids Public Schools Safety Patrol request. We have received a request from Wisconsin Rapids Public Schools to give a donation of $250.
Well, they didn't ask for the specific amount, but we've
But
been
we-
giving, like for the last 10 years, we've given $200.
And that $200 is coming out of a fund that was graciously donated by a previous supervisor. He donated his wages when he was on vacation in the winter months.
Mr.
Thank-
Danny Forbes?
Yes, thank you, Dan.
what do we have left in that fund?
It's on the sheet back here.
Roger's got the info here.
That's right, $2,571.75.
2,518.
Oh yeah, okay,
more
there's a
in there.
withdrawal off of what I stated.
All right, I believe in the past, whenever this was requested by Wisconsin Rapids, a motion was made also to donate to Nakusa School District.
Yeah, but we never did because nobody,
They never requested.
they never requested it.
Okay. So we never actually did make a donation?
Not that I,
Nope, it's always
I
been
think the only time
practice.
we've made a donation is when Nakusa's asked us.
Do they have a,
they have a crossing guard, I've seen them, but I don't know.
What is it, like the safety patrol where it's
I
like
don't
kids
know,
that are?
I believe it's,
No.
I believe they're employees.
Yeah, cause it's a person with a vehicle. I see them with their vehicle.
oh, but these are kids.
Safety
Yeah.
patrol is.
Oh,
this is
yeah,
like
no, I
fourth and
think these
fifth
are
grade
hired.
kids.
Right.
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
Okay.
And it's been 200 in the past or 250?
200.
Make a motion to donate $200 to the Wisconsin Rapids School Safety Patrol with funds from the Forbes donation.
I'll second that.
I have a motion by Josh, a second by Chase, to donate $200 to the Wisconsin Rapids Safety Patrol as requested. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those against? All right.
Yes, it is.
Discuss public notification options. I forgot.
That
what-
was the email newsletter type.
Oh,
thing.
yes, okay. So the previous administration had asked that people send in their emails and then we would keep them informed via email. So we have a compilation of a bunch of emails with phone numbers on them and names.
Just names and email addresses.
Names and
Yep.
emails, thank you. And at this point, we wanna know, do we continue this? Do we put it in an Excel spreadsheet and utilize it? Do we just realize that we have other means of communication. What should we do with this? Because it's taking up a lot of room just in her email box. So what should we do?
I like what Paulette had mentioned earlier about a no reply email.
Yeah, if we're going to do these email newsletters, it needs to come from a no reply, because I don't want 500 bounce backs.
Well, yeah,
Or if people's email changes and, you know, that it's meant for information purposes only, not a
not a
back and
discussion
forth.
forum.
Exactly.
And because you can do it as a group, so once they're added to the group, you know, it's just a click the button and it's gone, you know, a blank copy, so they're not seeing everybody's emails. I mean, I myself, I get notified by email all the time from stuff. I think it's a good idea.
So in order for this to happen, it would have to be set up in an Excel spreadsheet so that just the emails can be pulled as a blanket. And right now, it's in an envelope as individual emails. So what could happen, and what I suggested to Paulette, was to send that file over to Mary, and when Mary is not extremely busy, that she could put it into an Excel file, and then we could utilize it. So, what, anybody wanna say anything about that?
Sounds good.
I guess whatever is easiest for getting that
Go
out.
for it.
Come on, Roger, have something to say here.
Roger was willing to come in and help transfer those.
Oh, you're gonna do that for her? All right, well, make it noted. So putting it, having Mary put it in an Excel spreadsheet and utilizing it.
I don't think we really need a motion on something like that, do we?
Well, it was kind of just a discussion of what everybody thought we should do with them.
Yeah.
Because we don't have everybody's email in the town, but we have some.
Is that gonna open up a can of worms when some people get something via email and
No.
other people
How
that
did
don't
we
have
Why?
get,
They
how
didn't
did
send
we,
it to you.
how did we get those emails?
Is,
They
They sent
went
them.
on the website and put, email newsletter sign up as. and
So
that's
they
what
can,
it's like.
everybody can do that.
They're the one that wanted it.
That's
Okay.
exactly right.
Well, we know Ray doesn't have the computer, so he won't get it.
So, and you say Excel, and I'm thinking a group contact also.
is there a
In the
way
email
to,
program.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
is there possibly a way to automate this a little bit? And
well, that's why we're.
I know a lot of websites have it on there when you add it on, and I assume that probably gets into
Oh,
some
maybe.
system.
I'll talk to John and
Yeah.
ask him
Um,
once.
No.
You know, just to make it easier than transferring everything over, and that way when anybody new came in,
Boy, that'd be nice if she
Or
could
if they
just
wanted
pop
theirs
something in there
off.
and it would go to
I
everybody
know.
who wanted it.
Yeah, that would be
so,
super sweet.
I mean, a lot of websites do that. I would assume there's some sort of automated system that can be done with that.
Great idea.
So maybe we look into that as an option
Yeah,
as well.
I'll ask him once before we have her spend any time.
Okay, before we go any further, it's already 8:05, and I try to keep the meetings at 8:00, so I'm sorry, this audit is not gonna work. But can we do the audit when we do the meeting next week? Would that work for all of you?
I won't be here. I'm in Florida, I'm sorry.
You can't go. I just canceled your plans. When are you going?
I leave on Monday and come back on Friday, my daughter and I.
Oh, bugger.
There's not that much more on here.
In March, we still have one meeting, is that the case? Or-
Yes.
Yeah, but I hate to, it's all ready for tonight, so I really hate to do it.
So let's just keep going.
Okay, let's keep going. Discuss removal of the front property fence. Okay, as you all know, we have our beautiful new sign there. We're gonna put a foundation around it. I've been working on that. However, the sign looks short because the fence is tall, and the fence really has no purpose. In talking to Dan Forbes and a couple of the other old board members, the only reason that they think it was there was when the hall was rented. It was more for a safety aspect. So what I'd like to do is entertain the thought of removing just the front fence and putting it, stockpiling it right now in the back. And then if we, at some time in the future, need to put up the fence in the back, that we would have it here.